I want to thank a number of people that were instrumental in helping us put this program on, this symposium on sex offender registration and management. First off, the commission members and Alex Sarkoff, our executive director, the Institute for Municipal and Regional Planning, the IMRP, a great friend of the commission and their staff that are very helpful in our day-to-day work. The Connecticut Association for the Treatment of Sex Offenders, and Eileen Redden, their president, who was very, very active in putting together this symposium, will be speaking to us, conducting a panel discussion later on today. The National Institute for Corrections, which is an organization that has provided great support to the Commission in our symposium last year on bail and in this symposium on sex offender management today. And UConn Law School, who has been a great friend to the Commission. Dean Fisher, we'll hear from him in just a moment, but they provided this wonderful, beautiful facility for us to host our symposium, and we're very grateful to UConn Law for their efforts in supporting us. And our participants, these are nationally known, credentialed participants who are going to be speaking to us about this highly controversial but important topic that you deal with every day in your day-to-day work. And I think there's an opportunity to really learn a lot today from these experts. So back in 2015, the legislature enacted a statute, Public Act 15-2, that directed the Sentencing Commission to do an investigation into Connecticut practices with respect to what was very comprehensive. I mean, it was sex offender sentencing, victim impact, registration, treatment. And as a result of that, the Commission formed a special committee on sex offenders, which had 16 members, and they in turn formed 3 subcommittees, which undertook a 2-year study to try to take what the legislature asked us to do, which was a comprehensive look at how we sentence people convicted of sex crimes, what the registration requirements are, what the victim impact is, what the collateral consequences are of being on a sex offender registry, looked at some evidence-based practices with respect to what really is the recidivism rate of people who are convicted of sex offenses with respect to future sex offenses as well as general crimes. And we had the opportunity to listen to a lot of people to give us information on that. And out of that came some recommendations that the Commission put forward to the General Assembly last session, which was not enacted by the General Assembly last session, but we have a revised version of our recommendations that we hope to present this upcoming session in 2019. The point of this is that I think this work that we did over a 2-year period is largely condensed in what you're going to hear today, because many of the topics that we looked at are going to be covered by the presenters today. And speaking for myself, it really opened my eyes and changed my views on some of these topics. And so, I think if you approach this symposium with an open mind, you have a real good chance to sort of get some new information, some new perspectives that may change your outlook about this as well. So let me now ask Dean Timothy Fisher from the UConn Law School to speak to us. And again, the Commission is very grateful to Dean Fisher and the school for its continued support of the Commission's work.
Well, thank you, Judge Devlin, and welcome all of you to our campus here at the University of Connecticut School of Law. As the law school of the state of Connecticut, it is important to us to be the venue for discussions at the intersection of law and public policy. And this is especially true for us with regard to our role in hosting the Sentencing Commission, who we have been pleased to have here for a number of years recently. Your work as a commission, and all of you particularly here for today's program, is really important to us for our criminal justice system. And the corrections system to which it's tied, in some ways, are the most powerful indicators of the health of our society and our values. And I'm sorry to say that in some ways our society is not healthy, and there are a number of ways in which we are not living up to our values as a society. Those of you involved in the Sentencing Commission know that this is a personal commitment of mine with regard to bail reform, where I've been active with the Commission, and my current service on the state's opioids task force. But today, you're going to be looking at an issue of crucial concern, which is the proper treatment of those who are found guilty of sexual offenses. And this is an evolving issue, for every week we find more instances of how we as a society are countenancing sexual abuse, especially in situations of power disparity. So at the same time, we are struggling to make progress, especially in heeding the voices of the victims. So there are few areas that call for such a careful balancing of interests. How can we protect victims, especially when the harm they suffer continues and continues? And how can we both find punishment and treatment that fits the offense, protects society from further harm, and yet doesn't harm more lives than is necessary in the process? So I applaud you for your courage in grappling with these deep and difficult issues. And at the same time, I want to add a note from our perspective as a campus. For this was a difficult decision for us to host this event, for we have a number of survivors of sexual abuse in our community and among our students. And I would fear for any situation that could trigger further harm and fears and stresses in them, especially at exam time, which starts at the end of today. It is my job as dean to protect them. And as they undertake, especially at a time like this, the difficult task and the stresses of law school studies. Yet we have to be true to our mission as a law school of hosting difficult conversations. And our students themselves, to be successful lawyers, must be capable of engaging in these conversations themselves. And in fact, some of them are likely going to join you over the course of the day today. So I thank you, I thank your leadership, especially Alex Tsarkoff in particular, for the sensitivity and flexibility that you showed in working out the arrangements of this event to be respectful of our community. And I wish you all the best in tackling the important tasks that you've put before you today. Welcome, and thank you.